It is said that a generation which ignores history has no past nor future. And if you want to understand today, you have to search yesterday. We visited Mombasa's long-standing Fort Jesus to deeply understand it and to get answers to the several questions that only history could answer. This architectural site was built by the Portuguese in 1593. It was designed by a leading military architect of the time, Giovanni Battista Cairato, who was an Italian based in Goa. Fort Jesus was among the 3 forts that made up the Portuguese defense mechanism for Mombasa Island. It is called Fort Jesus because the Portuguese regarded themselves as the representatives of the Christendom rather than Portugal. Therefore, Jesus became the obvious name since they were sailing under the flag of the Order of Christ. Fort Jesus had a long history of hostilities of the interested parties that used to live in Mombasa. Perhaps no fort in Africa has experienced such as Fort Jesus. The fort had the captain's house, which was the official residence of all Portuguese captains who lived in the fort. It also had 4 entrances, 3 facing the sea and 1 facing the old town, being the main one. The passages of the sea were built as conduits through which the supplies and soldiers disembarking from the ships would pass. The special significance of this passage of the Arks is that on 16th August 1631, the Sultan of Mombasa, known as Geronimo Chingulia, gained access into the fort together with its supporters, pretending to seek audience with the captain whom he assassinated. Chingulia was considered a friendly sultan by the Portuguese after having converted to Christianity, educated in Goa, and installed as a sultan in 1626. His assassination of the captain is thought to have been to avenge murder of his father in 1614 by the Musungulu on the instigation of the Portuguese. The fort has an ammunition store, which was the underground room for storing the heavy artillery such as cannonballs. Its close proximity to the passage of the Arks, the captain's house, and the seaward bastions made it a suitable location for the storage. It also has gun holes. The gun platform was constructed high enough to provide a clear view of the channel and the sea for firing squad. The narrow slits in the walls were used for small arms and archery, while the wider holes were used to fire the heavy artillery such as the cannons. Fort Jesus has 8 watchtowers located at various points around it. Surveillance of both sea and land was ensured by soldiers on 24 hours guard. The fort has a moat, which is an integral part of the fort. It was dug as a defense mechanism to protect the fort from external attack by increasing the height of the wall. The moat goes all around the fort. Access into the fort was by means of a drawbridge. The walls of Fort Jesus are a remarkable feature. The wall is about 4 meters thick at the base, tapering in and attaining the average width of about 1.5 meters at the top. The walls were built slanting inwards. This feature is thought to be the reason for the walls remaining in such a good condition so many centuries later. The fort had a secret route, which was an escape route leading to the sea. There is much speculation as to what it may have been used for. As an escape route, it did not seem practical if the attack should come from the sea. Currently, it is blocked. The Al-Mazrui Hall is where negotiations and signing of treaties to obtain British protection for Mombasa in 1824 took place. It was used by the Al-Mazrui as a meeting room or baraza where the governor would meet with his subjects. The spot on which the museum gallery stands today was one of the barrack blocks. The others ran along the north wall on the opposite side and along the west wall. A gunpowder room was built during the Portuguese period and used to store gunpowder. The story goes that During the Great Siege, the Portuguese captain, Antonio Mogo de Melo, lured the Arabs into the gunpowder room after his defeat and blew himself up together with all those who followed him in. One of those who died in this blast was the son of Sheikh Daud of Faza. The fort had a chapel, which the Omani Arab later destroyed after they took over, since they were of different faith. These were the toilets built and used by the Portuguese. The Omani Arabs built different ones after they took over, and this was their design. The fort, which was built purposely to aid in protecting Mombasa Island, later turned into a slavery space. So much was the hostility that left many Africans with scars never to be forgotten. Talk of any form of slavery against humanity then, and you'll meet the term for Jesus somewhere in between. In the compound lies the remains of a nurse who died long ago during the Portuguese rule, as well as a whale which died when it was only 19 years old. In history lies all the secrets of the statecraft.
Glad having you on board. Desert Mame Productions, prioritizing your interest.